The modern world runs on 17 rare earth elements, names like neodymium, dysprosium, and yttrium, that are essential to our technology, yet remain largely unknown to most people. These elements are the unsung heroes behind the devices and systems we rely on every day, quietly enabling the digital age and the clean energy revolution. Without them, many of the innovations we take for granted simply wouldn't exist. Despite their name, these elements aren't geologically rare, but are seldom found in concentrations that make extraction easy or cheap. Mining and refining them is a complex, resource-intensive process, often requiring advanced technology and significant investment. They're the hidden force behind everything from smartphones and electric vehicles to wind turbines and advanced medical devices. Rare earths are found in the magnets that make our headphones work, the batteries that power electric cars, and the screens that light up our lives. Their unique properties, magnetic, catalytic, luminescent, make them indispensable across industries, powering the green energy transition and national defense. From precision-guided missiles to high-efficiency wind turbines, rare earths are at the heart of modern innovation. The real challenge isn't scarcity, but the fragile, highly concentrated global supply chain that delivers these elements to the world. Most rare earth processing happens in just a few countries, making the entire system vulnerable to political and economic shifts. Any disruption can send shockwaves through markets and halt technological progress. A single bottleneck can ripple across industries, affecting everything from consumer electronics to renewable energy projects. Understanding rare earths is key to grasping the urgent, high-stakes competition now underway for the building blocks of our future. As nations race to secure these vital resources, the story of rare earths is becoming one of the defining challenges of our time. China's dominance over rare earths is no accident. It's the result of decades of strategic investment, careful planning, and government policy. Long before the world realized the importance of these minerals, China was already positioning itself to control the market, pouring resources into mining, refining, and research. While other nations closed their mines due to high costs, strict regulations, and environmental concerns, China pressed forward. The result? A near monopoly. Today, China controls about 70% of rare earth mining and nearly 90% of global processing capacity, leaving other countries far behind. This dominance gives Beijing enormous leverage. Nearly every major tech company, automaker, and electronics manufacturer worldwide depends on Chinese facilities for critical components, from smartphones to electric vehicles and wind turbines. With such market control, China can dictate prices, restrict supply, and even use rare earths as powerful diplomatic tools, influencing global negotiations and trade. The world, in pursuit of cheaper goods and efficiency, outsourced a vital part of its industrial base. Only now is it waking up to the risks and vulnerabilities this creates. The global supply chain isn't really a chain, it's a funnel, and almost everything flows straight to China, making the world deeply dependent on a single source. This concentration of power has set off alarms in capitals worldwide, forcing governments to rethink their strategies and making rare earth security a top priority for the future. The threat of China weaponizing its rare earth dominance became real in 2010, when the world witnessed just how much power a single nation could wield over critical resources. That year, China abruptly cut exports to Japan during a heated territorial dispute, sending shockwaves through global markets and diplomatic circles alike. Prices for rare earths soared overnight, manufacturers scrambled to secure supplies, and the world got a stark lesson in just how fragile the supply chain for these essential minerals could be. The incident exposed the vulnerability of industries ranging from electronics to automotive, and forced governments to rethink their dependence on a single supplier. Since then, China has repeatedly signaled its willingness to use rare earths as leverage, imposing new export controls in response to trade tensions with the US and Japan, and making it clear that access to these minerals can be restricted at any time. The most recent move, targeting Japan after comments on Taiwan, crossed a new threshold, turning minerals into overt instruments of statecraft and sending a warning to other nations. These actions have transformed rare earths from a simple market issue into a front in global strategic competition, where access and control are now tools of geopolitical influence. Supply is now conditional, subject to political whims and international disputes, threatening the stability of industries that rely on predictable access to these materials. For technology-driven nations, the realization that a rival holds a kill switch on their most advanced industries has galvanized urgent action, prompting new policies and alliances. The era of complacency is over. Securing rare earths is now seen as a matter of national survival, with countries racing to diversify supply chains and invest in alternative sources. In January 2026, finance ministers from the G7 and key partners gathered in Washington to confront their rare earth dependency. Led by US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, the group agreed. The goal isn't to decouple from China, but to de-risk, systematically reducing vulnerabilities in critical mineral supply chains. The meeting marked a turning point, with consensus on the need for swift collective action to build more resilient alternatives. Together, these nations represent over 60% of global demand, giving them real market power if they coordinate. The Washington Assembly was the first step in a long journey to reclaim control over the minerals that power modern life. The coalition's strategy centers on diversification, building new supply chains outside China. This means investing in rare earth mining and processing in countries like Australia, Canada, and select African and Latin American nations. Governments plan to use financial incentives, loans, guarantees, tax credits to encourage private investment and offset China's cost advantage. Trade measures like tariffs and environmental standards will help level the playing field and promote responsible sourcing. The ultimate goal, a complete mine-to-magnet supply chain independent of China. It's a massive, long-term project requiring sustained investment and political will. But it's essential for a secure, resilient, technological future. One bold idea from Washington set a minimum price for rare earths, countering China's market manipulation and strategic dumping. A price floor would give new projects the stability and investor confidence they need to compete. The coalition also aims to create a premium market for rare earths produced under high environmental and labor standards. This appeals to companies and consumers demanding ethical sourcing, turning China's low-cost, low-standard model into a disadvantage. The strategy isn't just about more supply, it's about reshaping the market to reward responsible production. It's an ambitious attempt to redefine value in the critical minerals sector. Japan's experience offers a blueprint for breaking rare earth dependency. After China's 2010 export halt, Japan launched a national effort diversifying supply, investing in overseas mines, and pioneering recycling and substitution technologies. Government and industry worked together, backing projects like Australia's liners and developing motors that use fewer rare earths. Japan also became a leader in recycling, recovering valuable elements from discarded electronics. The result? Japan cut its reliance on Chinese rare earths from 90% to 60% in just over a decade. This hard-won resilience shows that focused investment and innovation can loosen China's grip. Japan's story now inspires the broader coalition. While the coalition agrees on the need to act, Europe urges caution. German Finance Minister Lars Klingbeil warns against appearing anti-China, reflecting Europe's deep economic ties and preference for engagement over confrontation. Europe's strategy focuses first on boosting its own mining and processing, guided by the Critical Raw Materials Act. The challenge balancing supply chain security with vital trade relationships. Despite different approaches, the commitment to reduce dependency is firm. The G7, under France's upcoming presidency, will keep critical minerals at the top of the agenda. The coalition must craft a flexible strategy that respects national interests while achieving shared security. The G7's push to reduce rare earth dependency is about more than geopolitics. It's about securing the foundation of the global economy. The stakes, jobs, green energy, and national security all depend on stable supply chains. Rebuilding this industry will take years of investment, cooperation, and political resolve. The coalition's proposals, price floors, new partnerships, higher standards, are promising but complex. Success depends on unity and a shared long-term vision, even as national interests diverge. This is a test of whether democracies can solve global challenges together. The journey has just begun, but the first decisive steps have been taken. The world is watching to see if this alliance can turn ambition into reality, ensuring rare earths power a future of shared prosperity and security.